The rapid growth of AI workloads has driven significant capital allocation toward data center infrastructure. CoreWeave and IREN are two notable operators in this space. Both have expanded capacity rapidly, but the question for investors is whether their business models are sustainable. Part 1. Market Context. Global AI infrastructure spending is projected to reach $800 to $900 billion in 2026. With the four hyperscalers Amazon, Google, Meta, and Microsoft alone guiding a CAPEX of $715 billion this year on AI spending. That is roughly double the levels we saw 2 years ago in 2024. Demand for compute capacity remains strong to power AI models and inference, with low vacancy rates and upward pricing pressure reported by S&P Global. When hyperscalers guide AI CAPEX, the number might sound big. What do they actually spend the money on? The spending falls into three primary categories. First, silicon and servers. These are the GPUs from NVIDIA or AMD, but increasingly custom chips like Amazon's Trainium and Google's TPUs. Second, power-dense data centers. This includes spending on purchasing or leasing land, buying cooling systems, and electrical infrastructure. Third, networking equipment. These are the high-bandwidth components that connect thousands of individual GPUs together to create a server rack that can churn trillions of calculations simultaneously to train or inference AI models like Claude or Gemini. Now, how do data center operators like CoreWeave and IREN fit in this picture of AI demand? They are alternative capacity providers. Hyperscalers cannot build compute capacity fast enough to power their AI models. CoreWeave's core business focuses on building out this very capacity and leasing it out to AI labs, charging a sum of money per million tokens of compute used. IREN, while traditionally was a Bitcoin mining firm, has repurposed its GPUs and mining infrastructure to AI compute. Both companies serve as secondary capacity layers, absorbing demand that hyperscalers cannot satisfy internally. Their sustainability depends on whether hyperscalers eventually outbuild them or if AI labs have enough demand for third-party compute capacity. Part 2. Economics of data centers. For data center providers, revenue drivers fall into two categories. First, committed capacity. These are long-term contracts for entire server racks or GPU clusters, often booked 12 to 36 months in advance. Second, on-demand compute, spot instances, or short-term rentals at premium pricing. The key metric is utilization rate and pricing power, which remains strong due to tight supply. Now the cost drivers. Power is the single largest operating expense, often 40% to 60% of total operating expenses of a data center. Providers pay for megawatts of electricity, whether servers are running or idle. Next, depreciation. GPUs lose value quickly, typically over 3 to 5 years. Third, and this is especially important for debt-fueled data centers like CoreWeave, interest expense that can eat into a significant portion of any revenue generated from leasing out compute capacity. The margin math is simple but unforgiving. Revenue is driven by utilization and contract pricing. Costs are driven by power prices, GPU refresh cycles, and interest rates. Squeeze the spread too thin, and even a full data center can lose money. Part 3. CoreWeave's financials. As of Q1 2026, CoreWeave's revenue backlog stood at $99.4 billion. This includes multi-year agreements signed with AI labs such as Anthropic, Meta, OpenAI, Microsoft, and others to lease CoreWeave's compute capacity. One red flag to mention, though, is that $63 billion of this $99.4 billion revenue backlog is a reciprocal agreement where NVIDIA buys back any unused capacity, which is to say the real revenue backlog is only $36.4 billion. While the revenue backlog is strong, the company's profitability metrics have deteriorated. CoreWeave brought in $2.1 billion in revenue in the first quarter of 2026, which is up a whopping 112% year-on-year. Expenses ballooned too, leaving a gross profit of just $646 million, down 10% year-on-year. With overheads, operating expenses, and interest expenses added, CoreWeave had a net loss of $740 million compared to a loss of $261 million last year. Despite more than doubling its revenue, CoreWeave has managed to almost triple its losses. This translates to a gross margin of 31% versus 73% last year, and a net margin of negative 35.6% versus negative 26.5% last year. suggesting that the more business CoreWeave does, the more money it loses. If we look at it this way, it is clear the business is not sustainable at all. When it comes to debt, CoreWeave has increased its debt at terrifying speeds, to a total of $35.1 billion compared to just $11.9 billion a year ago. This explains the $536 million in interest expenses for Q1 2026, versus $264 million a year ago. In other words, the interest expense alone is nearly 25% of the total revenue CoreWeave has generated. Short break before we move on. If you find this kind of content interesting and useful to you, and want to learn more about finance and businesses, please help support us by liking this video and sharing it. Also, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next video. If you would like us to cover some topic, drop a comment below. Thanks for staying with us, and now back to the video. Part 4. IREN. The story for IREN is similar, but on a smaller scale. In its most recent quarter, IREN reported earnings of $144.8 million, flat year-on-year, but a net loss of $247 million, compared to a net loss of $16 million last year, exhibiting a similar trend as CoreWeave of revenue keeping up, but expenses becoming unsustainable. One difference is that IREN has some existing GPUs from its legacy Bitcoin mining operations that they are trying to transition over to building out AI data centers. However, these are older GPUs, and IREN would still need to purchase the newer, more powerful NVIDIA GB300 GPUs. While IREN's interest expense for the most recent quarter was only $15 million, just over 10% of its revenue, the debt on their balance sheet has increased to nearly $4 billion compared to just $324 million a year ago. Part 5. Sustainability of Data Center CAPEX. It is clear that the path to profitability looks shaky, given these economics for data centers. Compounding the issue is that in order to monetize the revenue backlog, compute capacity needs to be built, and the only way to fund this infrastructure for companies like CoreWeave and IREN is through debt. Take Microsoft's deal with IREN, for example. Most recently in April, Microsoft signed a 5-year $9.7 billion agreement with IREN to provide 200 megawatts of compute. This gives a $1.9 billion revenue per 200 megawatts per year, or $9.7 billion per 1 gigawatt per year. A Bernstein report estimates a rough cost to build out 1 gigawatt of data center capacity to be roughly $35 billion. NVIDIA themselves has the estimate higher at $60 to $80 billion. Assuming this has to be funded by debt, with an interest of 6%, estimating from the interest expense of CoreWeave divided by the total debt they have, that gives an interest expense of $2.1 billion a year. Building out GPUs adds to the depreciation cost as well. Assuming a 5-year lifespan of a GPU, this means a $7 billion a year hardware depreciation cost. Business Insider estimates electricity cost for 1 gigawatt annually to be around $1.3 billion in 2025. With the disruptions we have today in global energy production, this cost component would only trend higher. Add these three components together, a 1 gigawatt data center faces a total of $10.4 billion in costs. And this is before we add on the costs needed for water for cooling, which for a 1 gigawatt facility requires an estimated 1.5 billion gallons a year, maintenance costs, land use rights, rents, construction costs, and other administrative overheads. All of these costs just to earn $9.7 billion in revenue annually, and there is still an outstanding debt of $35 billion on the balance sheet to repay. The math just doesn't add up. Remember, this assumes 100% utilization rate at all times. Any gaps due to maintenance work or a gap in demand, the losses become even worse. Not to mention, 7 years later, a data center would need to refresh its GPUs with newer technology, and the cycle of funding with debt starts again. Or worse still, with no annual profits to repay the debt, we have to pile on another $35 billion for the refresh, doubling the debt pile. Part 6. Economic Moat. Let's talk competitors. When it comes to building data centers, there are not many barriers to entry or intellectual property rights. The economic moat is low. Other than debt and the initial CAPEX required to build out a data center, the day-to-day profitability depends on access to cheap electricity. This is the primary source of any economic moat a data center will hope to have. The average primary market vacancy rate in North America dropped to a record low of 1.6% in 2025, meaning available capacity is practically non-existent. Nearly 75% of all capacity under construction is already pre-leased through at least 2027. That's a massive barrier to entry for potential competitors because securing new grid connections takes years. North American electricity costs have also spiked dramatically. In the PJM region covering 13 states, capacity prices surged from $29 per megawatt hour in 2024 to $329 in 2026, a tenfold increase driven 63% by data center demand. Those costs are directly inflating OPEX for every data center operator. But the landscape looks very different in Asia. Singapore has the region's highest on-grid tariffs, at roughly $178 per megawatt hour in 2026, but operators pay a premium for grid stability and cooling efficiency. In mainland China, electricity is significantly cheaper, often $100 to $120 per megawatt hour. This gives Chinese data centers a cost advantage when it comes to power. This cost advantage translates into cheaper token prices for LLM inferences and AI lab usage. On the global API platform OpenRouter, Chinese LLMs captured 32% of global token consumption in March 2026, up from just 5% a year earlier, while US models dropped from 58% to 19%. Chinese token pricing is often 1/6 to 1/10 of Western rivals. For example, on OpenRouter, DeepSeek v3 costs 14 cents per million tokens, while GPT 4.0 costs $2.5 per million tokens, a 94% discount for DeepSeek that is run on Chinese data centers. This reinforces the moat. Those with the lowest power and token costs capture the fastest growing share of AI inference demand. Although data privacy is another question to ask, but we will need a whole other video to cover this. In conclusion, on top of the unsustainable costs CoreWeave and IREN face, they are also at risk of losing market share to new data centers popping up with cheaper cost structures. From a financial perspective, the sustainability of these business models depends on two variables. First, the continued growth of AI inference and training demand, which may allow data centers to increase prices for leasing compute capacity. Second, the cost of capital. If interest rates remain elevated, CoreWeave and IREN's debt burden becomes a material risk. But not all data centers are doomed. Some might indeed survive. Apart from Asian competitors with access to cheaper energy, hyperscalers like Meta, Google, and Amazon, who have strong legacy business that generate huge cash flows, have funded their data center build-outs with cash rather than debt. This eliminates the interest expense from the economics and might just make their data center projects more financially sustainable. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown useful, hit like. It tells YouTube to show this to other curious minds like yourself. Comment what you think. Which data center model do you think has the strongest moat? Are they sustainable? And subscribe if you want more deep dives like this one.